evening, everyone. Welcome back to the Blind Press YouTube channel. And it is Saturday, which means it is Star Trek time. And today we are talking about the funny episodes and movie moments in Star Trek, because our last episode was about the stuff that plucked at our emotions in either a sad way or an angry way or some sort of emotional way. So I figured we would go for a funny motif. So, but first of all, I am joined by my good friends, the One Ton Hammer.
Hello.
And Dr. Functional.
Jolan True.
And Skep is with us in spirit. He may be joining us in a bit, but he family matters happened, so he may not be here, but he's with us in spirit. So, I just figured we would go in no particular order, but just have a kind of a chill conversation, just about different things that we've watched in Star Trek that were really funny. And Functional, you were mentioning just before we went live that one of the episodes you found really funny, but you can't really watch it again because it's just so ridiculous, was Little Green Men from DS9. And I agree with you. Like, the first time I watched it, I was laughing so hard. But I skip it now.
It's so far removed from anything relevant to DS9.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a one and done, like rom-com or something you might watch.
Yeah.
Just to be like, that was funny, I guess. At moments.
Ha,
Moving
ha,
on.
The Ferengi were the Roswell aliens. Ha ha ha.
Yeah.
Just...
But I mean, obviously you're going to get a great performance out of those three actors.
Oh, definitely.
Like the thing where Quark is Rom is hitting himself on the side of the head and tilting his head. Yeah. And then the humans are emulating him. And it's just like, come on, this is just far too easy.
Yeah.
They're nothing more than barbarians. Oh.
Or when Nog just randomly is screaming.
Yeah. It's got so many of those good moments. The entire episode was well constructed, well put together. They got some good supporting cast to play the Earth scientists and everything, and the military personnel. But then it's just one long running joke.
Yeah, it is.
It still holds up. It just I can't stand to rewatch it.
Its rewatch value is low.
I think that's its only failing.
If you watch it for the first time, you're like, this is hilarious, but its rewatch value is low. Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, it's like, how many stoner comedies can I watch?
Yeah.
Like, Dude, Where's My Car? Yeah, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
I've seen it, I get it. I don't need to rewatch Dude, Where's My Car or something. It's a great movie, but like
Pineapple Express is another one.
Pineapple Express, yeah.
It's when you watch it, maybe you could get maybe 2 or 3 watches out of it, and then you're like, okay, yeah, I'm done.
Stoner man says funny stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, the Little Green Men, it is a very, very funny episode if you're watching it for the first time.
The chat people.
Yes, hello chat, hello Pat.
Adamantine, Costin.
And Adamantine and Costin.
OG.
One of the
some hammer guy.
Hammer guy.
Hate that guy.
One of my favorite episodes, because it's so, it's just so funny. It's 2 Q episodes. And one of them is Deja Q.
Of course.
And one of them is Cupid.
Can I just quickly interrupt? You can just say anything involving John Delancey.
Oh, yeah.
But those are really good ones, yeah.
Because some of the Q episodes try to be a bit more serious, right? They do have funny moments, right?
Eat any good books lately?
Yeah, well, that's in Deja Q, isn't it?
Yeah.
But like in Hide and Q, where it is kind of a serious episode, but John Delancey shows up on the bridge in Monk's robes. Let us pray. Let us do no such damn thing. Like that's just Picard's outraged reaction to let us do no such damn thing. Or in Tapestry, again, another episode that's supposed to be serious, but Picard, again, I refuse to believe that, an afterlife, with you as God. I refuse to believe the universe is not so badly designed.
Exactly, yeah.
Or I'm looking for a Jean-Luc Picard.
Because he's always playing like that jester type.
Mm-hmm.
And just the counterbalance from Stewart's wry, dry wit with humor. Just, amazing play off of each other.
But Deja Q, like,
what was the one where Picard was on the bridge and Q had his Marachi band?
Oh, mariachi band? That was the end of Deja Q.
Yeah.
Q, but I feel like celebrating. Oh, I don't!
Sir, I protest. I am not a merry man.
Yeah.
It was, you wanted to stall it before the beard.
Or,
With Riker.
Yeah. But you knew Deja Q was going to be a good laughing episode when Q shows up naked, hovering in the air, going, Red alert. You're like, oh God, here we go.
I'm gonna have to binge watch all the Q episodes because those do have immense rewatch value.
Mm-hmm. They really do.
Even some of the more serious ones, like the ones in Voyager.
Yeah.
What's the name of that one again?
Even the ones in Voyager have funny moments, like Death Wish and the Q and the Grey.
Q and the Grey, right?
Like in Death Wish, when Q and Quinn are like playing hide and seek, basically, with Quinn takes them to the beginning of time, and B'Elanna's like, this ship will not survive the birth of the cosmos. and Janeway's like, Q, either Q, get us out of here now. It's just
when the two Q mate.
Yeah.
The look on Janeway's face.
That was
like
all?
every woman who has never been satisfied by a guy.
Yeah.
That's it?
Well, don't complain now.
Or when he shows up on DS9 and he's having the little boxing match, and he rears up and hits him. And he goes, "You hit me! Picard never hit me. I'm not Picard."
Oh, that was just fantastic. Every time Q shows up, it's
you get to throw like a monkey wrench into the works, into the formula, and have these characters that are most of the time, very dour, serious, military types, to just sort of deliver lines like B'Elanna's line, which is probably one of her funniest.
Yeah.
Not survived
and the way she delivers it is like she's angry but panicked at the same time. It's
yeah.
Roxanne Dawson did a good job with that delivery. It was just or the and when or the between Q and Guinan and Deja Q, when he's immortal, like he's a human, and he's in 10 forward, and she's dressing him down and you've tormented so many species and everything, and then she stabs him with a fork.
Yeah.
How the mighty have fallen.
Seems human enough to me.
Yeah. It's like, God damn, Guinan. and there's even a moment that Guinan provides some comic relief in a very serious episode in Night Terrors, where they're gathered in 10 Forward and everyone is starting to panic. You know, why are they keeping us like in designated areas? What's going on? You know, panicking, and there's like almost a riot that breaks out in 10 Forward. So Guinan just reaches under the bar and pulls out this fucking big laser pistol and just that was level 1. Anyone want to see level 2? just so calm, you know.
Yeah. I hate to keep beating the DS9 drum, but our man Bashir, I thought it was hilarious. I'm a huge James Bond fan, and I really thought that they tried to play up. Maybe it was Alexander. Maybe it was the because they were given a lot of leeway, the individual actors on that show, to develop their characters. Maybe it was the writing, but he hams it up without being over the top, and you've got glimpses of that kind of character trait in the real world, but here he just sort of completely lets go. And of course, it's him and Garrick.
Yes.
That's a winning formula, like Data and Geordi, you know, like Bones and Kirk.
Data has majority of the laughs in TNG because he's so unfamiliar with humanity.
Yeah,
those are a lot of like the embarrassing things. Worf gets made the butt of a lot of jokes.
Yeah, he does.
You might want to hit yourself with a pain stick or something.
Computer, retract the plank. Sorry, Worf. And then Data just throws Crusher into the fucking water.
And how about the higher, the fewer? When he's sitting there at the dinner table, he's like,
ha! Eat! Ha! It's my laughing hour.
It's your dinner hour. Ha! I'm cracking up the first time I saw that. I'm like, oh my god.
That is enough, please. and it's so funny because I don't know how many times a day I say, that is enough, please, to my...
Data and Worf is a good one. Tell him he's a pretty cat. Tell him he's a lucky cat. I will feed it.
Yes.
Because he's still really, like, he's devoting a lot of his time and most of his experiences around humans. He still isn't fully aware of what being a Klingon means as far as Data's concerned.
Yeah.
Like, he knows Worf. Worf's kind of an anomaly. He's seen other Klingons, and he still hasn't been able to put the two together. Yeah. Or I guess 3, because there's that human influence. So it makes for a really good odd couple.
It does.
They do that so well with their casting and writing. They have so many, like, throughout the series, really good comedic odd couples.
Check chat. Ellen's got a good one.
Oh. Tabbed out.
What about the episode where the Ferengi take over the ship and Picard, Guinan, and Rowan Keiko?
Oh, I want to see my father. I want to see him
now.
Dad!
The look on Riker's face. Oh my god.
Thanks, number 1. He's my number 1 dad. Alexander, I wonder if I could borrow that for a moment.
Yeah. Because it
sure,
plays,
Captain.
It plays on that other one where he gets stuck in the turbo lift with the kids.
Yep.
Again, putting that odd man out with kids, somebody who generally is seen as a very paternal, superior person, but really when it comes to kids is completely inept. And then here you're transported into him being a kid, and you're trying to take him seriously because it's still Picard, but just the way you can tell the kid is very good at studying Jean-Luc's mannerisms.
That kid was great.
He's still delivering it, but just in his tone and his cadence was just like, I can't take you seriously. This is too funny.
Yeah, there wasn't much funny about that episode. The only thing I can remember that made me laugh was Keiko having her baby.
Yeah.
I felt
What
bad
now?
for Miles in that.
Push,
in
Keiko.
that.
Push. 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 I am pushing.
I am pushing.
Worf.
Why is it
This is not
now?
very.
The best part of it was now you should be able to deliver the baby. Why is it not happening?
This is not a very orderly delivery.
This is yeah.
Well, I'm sorry.
Oh,
The simulations I participated in were much more orderly than this.
there was this TOS episode. I don't remember because it's not my forte. But Kirk was in a cave and he had this piece of rock that looked like a giant pink dildo. I mean, the props in TOS. I mean, God bless that show that the writing was so good because I mean, between the penis rock and the Gorn and
Yeah.
oh my God, you couldn't help but laugh even though it's in the middle of a serious scene. I mean, again, I didn't watch it when it first came out. It's before my time, but I did watch it when I was a young kid. It turned me on to science fiction.
Right.
That means
I still couldn't help but laugh.
That might be something generally true. I don't remember very much that was actually haha funny in TOS.
No, it definitely took itself a little bit more seriously. Aside from the bants,
it was all smirky kind of cutie kind of stuff, but it wasn't belly laugh kind of stuff in that show. I mean, even
you didn't laugh at the dog with the horn.
The dog with the horn.
The poor dog that they glued a horn onto its head.
I don't remember that.
Okay, never. It's another TOS episode.
The one episode that made me laugh was Miri, just because of the kids. Bonk, bonk, on the head! Bonk, bonk! Or when...
That scared me when that part of the episode came on. I was like, well, this is Lord of the Flies crap. Jesus.
Well, it more was made me laugh when they're all like going, yeah, 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 and Kirk's like, no, nah, 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 nah. He just yells
blah blah blah. I think it was blah blah blah.
Or blah 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 or whatever it was, but he just like yells no blah blah, like just just completely yells at the film, just no.
I think I took that all wrong. I was scared. I'm not scared, but I was just like,
there were parts that were creepy, like kind of Children of the Corn, Lord of the Flies type creepy, but there were other parts that were just like just silly.
When he delivers that line, he's not.
No, he's trying.
Angry.
He's angry, which is why it's funny, because it's so how you would react to a kid doing that.
If you were a parent.
If you were a parent, you just. Ah!
It seems funnier to the parents, I guess.
Yeah. There's a couple of funny there's some funny Picard moments, and even when he's trying not to be funny, but when he is, there's in the Timescape episode at the beginning where he was describing the boring, where he's talking very slowly.
Monosyllabically, reading emphasis on
hypnotic.
every topic to topic.
Yeah, it was just, Picard, just like I said, like we've said, any Picard and Delancey.
Wait, don't move off of that. Don't move off of that scene.
Oh, okay.
Keep going with that scene because Deanna does a.
Oh yeah. Because then she talks about the guy who
Diane.
is interested. Hello, Diane. I'm very interested in.
Did you help him with his research counselor?
And then, yes.
Absolutely not.
I thought you were interested in that story.
Look on Data's face as he's chastised. He's like, what did I say wrong?
Oh man.
That was a great episode and a great scene. I've always mentioned in the past how much I like that scene because of the way it's been photographed, how he slowly zooms in on people they talk to give you a sense of intimacy. It was a really great scene, and the fact that it was Leonard Nimoy's son who did the directing on that episode. But that was the look on Data's face. It's like he ate something that tasted terrible. You know, like,
speaking of eating something that tasted terrible, there's a really funny moment in Generations.
I hate this.
It is revolting. Would you like more? Please. I loved that scene. It was just so good. Oh man. And there's a scene in Voyager in a very serious episode, Scientific Method, where Janeway is telling Tuvok, you know, she's really upset about the lack of discipline on board the ship, and she's dressing Tuvok down. Don't 13 department heads report to you every day? You know, can't you get them in line or whatever, something? And he just looks at her and goes, shall I flog them as well? It's just so deadpan. Just the way Tuvok is great for that.
He knows how to interact with her. He knows how to get to her. And you knew that line was exactly the right line for that.
Yep. Because then she just goes, I have been a little bit, you know, just...
Menage a Troy.
Oh, God.
His speech at the end.
The Shakespeare speech. And, you know, I wonder if he didn't have
My
to
love is like a rose.
I wonder if he even had to memorize that because of his thespian training, or if he just knew
That's
it.
Shakespeare.
No,
Yeah,
I know.
I'm
I'm saying, like,
I'm
I'm wondering if he didn't need
He's
to...
a classically trained actor. He's a theater actor. So
yeah, I know.
He knew that when he was 12 years old.
I was like, I wonder if they just said, pick a poem. You know, just go ahead, pick a poem.
Longing still for that which longer nurseth the disease.
Mr. Worf!
I do not love thee with mine eyes, for there in thee a thousand errors see. But 'tis my heart that loves what they despise, who in despise of a view are pleased to dote.
Oh my God.
Mr. Worf! Fire phasers, all right!
Luoxana, go ahead.
And then Luoxana's like, I knew you cared. And she's like all over him, and he's like, help!
We have to play this up for another 30 seconds before the view screen turns off. It's the most uncomfortable 30 seconds in his life. And then, of course, again, more Luoxana, when she had the menopause thing on DS9, and everybody's getting all hot in the britches for the other odd couples. And it's just like...
And if we go back to their very first meeting,
Mr. Home,
Picard and Luoxana's first meeting, and she's making him carry her bags, and then Troy's like, "Mother, I refuse to go another step like this. If you're my mother's valet, then please valet." And then Picard's like, "Oh, please don't stop me from your from carrying out your duties."
I like the that sort of spirit of over the topness that Mulgrew did for Bride of Chaotica.
Yeah.
Where she gives herself into the role and just hams it up, but does it in such a great way.
And I love how Paris was like so embarrassed that he had to suggest that
because he was out hamming her. He was totally out hamming
for her when they set it up though. He's like, Captain, you're gonna have to be the right. He was all shy.
Yeah, and then he didn't know what he was getting himself into because he liked some of his reactions when she's going about like just. So good. One
of my favorite parts of the holodeck thing in Voyager was when she first comes to Sandrine's, and the French the French gigolo starts hitting on her, and Paris is like, Captain, I'm really sorry. I didn't know you were coming. If I had known, and she cuts him off. She goes, "You would have changed things, and I would have missed out on all the fun."
Yeah.
Because he was all, Harry, you don't talk to captains. Ensigns don't talk to captains.
Yeah, yeah.
Captains don't sit with ensigns. Like. And speaking of Harry, one of the funniest things was Quark and Harry in the first episode.
Oh yeah.
No thanks, we were warned about Ferengi at the Academy. Slurs being taught against my people at Starfleet. Who's your captain?
Commanding officer. The Doctor's also got some really, really good ones.
Oh,
one of his best was when he became the opera singer.
Yes.
I thought it was hilarious. The little people. They're smug. Just the way that they are and how the crew reacted was just like they were flabbergasted at every interaction with them. Like, but you're so tiny and cute. I could step on you.
When the Doctor is first interacting with them and they're talking like to the crew like they're idiots, and then they're like asking to see Janeway, so the Doctor calls for her, and then the captain is coming here.
And again with those cultural sort of like weirdnesses with Tinker Tenor Dr. Spy. So first you get the dreams, which are, whimsical. He's a little bit more over the top than your typical captain. It's funny, but then you find out he's getting like daydreams and delusions, and they're being recorded by the aliens.
Yeah, and the aliens
think it's all true.
That's what's going on for real. So they plan an attack based on it.
Fire up the photonic cannon.
Or the like Janeway's telling him what to say, and he's like repeating what she's. Calm down, Doctor. Okay, I mean. Oh my god.
Voyager definitely had a lot more of those lighthearted moments. I think it had to be with how dark it was.
Yeah, because some of it got pretty dark. Yeah, some of it got pretty. I
think a lot of the Doctor's lines, what made them so funny was how Picardo delivered them.
Yes.
It's so much so that he became enough of a delivery that 7 of 9 could effectively play his part.
Yes.
When she got taken over by him. Yeah. Her mannerisms and the lilt in her voice and everything like that, you thought, oh my God, it really is a Doctor inside her. Mm-hmm. She did an amazing job for that. But that ability for her to do that is because the Doctor played that part that way.
Yeah, that was brilliant.
Yeah, he was so.
Hollow Pursuits.
Wish I could do a Doctor.
Hollow Pursuits is a great episode.
Because Barclay's another one of those characters who's just sort of like the butt of the joke.
Yeah.
But like the three, excuse me,
the sword fighting captains,
3 Musketeers,
the 3 Musketeers. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Broccoli.
Yeah.
What did I say?
It's a very common mistake, Captain. Bach to Brock.
Bach to Brock. Yes. Thank you, Mr. Data.
Almost every time Data says something, then he keeps on going on, and Picard has to say, "Thank you, Mr. Data." That's immediately funny right there, because you know that if he didn't say something, he would be going on for half an hour.
Yeah. Most of the time, when anyone goes like Data, or thank you, Data.
Or you're talking about the sword fight, but before the sword fight, when they were coming across all the people that were on the ship, but they were in his fantasy.
I am the goddess of empathy.
And the look on her face. And what does Riker say? Oh my God.
That's Geordi.
Oh, is it Geordi?
My God. Very healthy imagination, wouldn't you say? Mm-hmm.
What does he say? I am the goddess of love. Is that what it is?
I am the goddess of empathy.
Empathy.
Cast off your inhibitions.
Oh boy.
And embrace love. Joy.
Looking for Parmok in all the wrong places.
Yep.
Especially at the end when they're in the infirmary. And then Worf and Jadzia come in and
Yep.
Or even when Jadzia's dealing with the Klingon thing, there's always some laughs to be had.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when she's getting tested for the House of Martok.
Mm-hmm.
And she just goes off on the I forget his wife's name.
So do I, but I know who you're talking
The
about.
Lady Serena.
Yeah.
Because she's a no nonsense, and Jadzia is anything but no nonsense.
Well, I just love any time Picard deals with the Klingons because they always consider him as like a weak old man, right? And then he's like the one when the Klingons are arguing at the table in the conference room, and Picard. He says one word in Klingon, but I can't remember what he said, but he yells. And he gets their attention, and he's like he's all he has to do is one word. Or when it's the reunification episode and they show up to talk to Gowron. And Gowron
Careful, android.
Gowron won't see him at first.
Oh.
So he's like, you may pass a message to Chancellor Gowron. You may tell him that his arbiter of succession is here. It just goes completely diplomat, but knows exactly how to be a Klingon diplomat.
Read between the lines.
Yeah. He's just like, just.
I was thinking, was it? I think it was reunification when they get the Romulan paint.
Yep.
And the
They
Klingon.
lick that paint right off your ear.
Careful, android.
Yeah.
Some Romulan beauty might try to lick that paint right off your ears.
Or the scene where they show them to their quarters and the Klingon's like, we sleep here, smacks the surface, no soft beds for here. And Picard's like, good!
And then he's trying to lie down and Data's just like staring at him. Mr. Data, what are you doing?
Nothing, sir.
Do nothing somewhere else. Yeah, obviously trouble with
sleep,
Tribbles
sir?
and the DS9
both of them.
flashback.
Yeah. Both episodes were great.
Like O'Brien's like, oh, Scotty told me to do this. Okay, well, let's just start here. Well, obviously we don't want to take that out.
Or Jadzia trying to like figure out a way to talk to them, and Cisco's like, no.
Del girl. And then they're in the hall and she's like, I never knew he was so striking. It's like, yes, Kirk was always known as the ladies' man. No, not Kirk. Spock.
Yeah.
Lady boner go, boy.
Yep.
She looked really good in that uniform too, let me tell you.
Oh, hell yeah.
And O'Brien getting to be the one to go, I don't know, sir.
Yeah, I don't know, sir.
Oh god, and it always really it makes me giggle to hear original series Klingons refer to humans as Earthers.
Earthers, yeah.
That always made me laugh.
At least they updated it later and started calling them Terrans.
Yeah.
Or referring to them as just like people of like
or
Federation.
The Federation.
Yeah.
And honestly, there was some, like, even though Neelix was kind of annoying in the first seasons of Voyager, there were some funny moments. Like,
especially when Tuvok was involved.
Yeah, but my favorite is when he's like, they bring him on board for the first time, and Tuvok's like, perhaps you would like a bath. And he's like, what? You guys do what with water?
Yeah.
He's like, you have any idea how scarce water is? What are you guys doing? And he's like playing in the bathtub like a child.
And I'll admit, like when they're on that planet of the telepaths, and the really cute chick is like, why do you want me to tug on your whiskers? And he's just like,
it's so embarrassed.
But his eyes like perk up like, oh baby, she didn't sound to hate the idea.
Yeah,
he was good for a joke, even though I'm not a fan.
Yeah, he was pretty. I didn't mind Neelix after the first couple of seasons. Like for the first, when he was with Kes,
cringe.
When he was with Kes, it was pretty cringy.
Yeah. She never really had any funny lines, did she?
No.
Kes never really. They never really gave her a sense of humor.
The only funny thing Kes
when she started eating
did,
dirt.
The only funny thing Kes ever did was fuck with the doctor's program to make him sick for longer.
And there was that time she ate dirt. I was kind of laughing and cringing.
Yeah. Yeah, but Kes never really. Like, Seven had more funny lines.
Oh, yeah, like when she breaks the guy's arm.
Yeah. Or
I don't know if that was the hologram or the.
No, that was the
guy.
That was the weapons guy who.
That was the actual date.
That was the weapons guy who she thought stole her nanoprobes.
No. When she was learning how to date from the doctor.
Oh, when she tripped on his ankle.
Right,
tripped on his foot and broke his ankle.
Right. It's like, I mean, as a man, you kind of have to weigh the cost-benefit analysis with a woman like 7 of 9. Jerry Ryan is a very tight woman. She likes to keep everything together.
There's the episode where the doc just kind of walks into the cargo bay. I think it's the episode where his mobile emitter fuses with the drone or the nanoprobes. But at the beginning of the episode, he walks into the cargo bay and goes, 7 of 9, how's my favorite Borg today? She goes, annoyed. You will announce your presence before entering this room.
Yeah. Just... that deadpan humor.
Oh. Or when they're going into stasis to get through the nebula, and Paris doesn't want to get in, and Harry's like, shall we replicate you a teddy bear?
And I will admit one redeeming thing about Picard. It had good, funny moments. The rest of the show was vapid and non-Trek.
That's the whole point of it, though. The whole point was to be non-Trek. We had this discussion when we were talking about Trek
but then
months ago.
Yeah.
I don't want to get down that path, but like, I mean, he's an older man, and Stewart being the great actor that he is, he plays up his character. Yes, his character's aged. He's become a whole lot more cynical about the world, about the galaxy.
Oh yeah, the first episode makes all that stuff really clear.
Yeah.
He's trying to run up the stairs to get away from the Romulans, and he can't run with her. He stops and he says, "Wait," and she says, "We can't wait," and she grabs it, she pulls him up with him.
Yeah.
But you find out really quickly, not even halfway through the first episode of the show, you find out that he's just not strong like he used to be, and he's not quick like he used to be.
Yeah, so he becomes a little bit more sarcastic throughout the series. Still not a great series, but it had its funny moments. I've struggled in my brain to think of anything that was even mildly amusing about STDs.
Nothing.
I never watched it.
Good. I mean, it has no redeeming quality ever, really.
Yeah, I think I watched part of the first episode, and I heard about the second episode, and that was enough.
I couldn't get past the Klingons that had their ship surrounded with their dead, and I was like, no.
You couldn't get past the look of the Klingons. That was what stopped me.
Yeah. Space orcs, yeah.
No, they really look like the cast-offs from Lord of the Rings. Like they bought up all the old
like fucked up prosthetics that didn't quite make it out.
No, they bought all the old prosthetics and then just painted them different colors.
Oh. Okay. These were the Urukai that Saruman didn't like. Anyway.
JP says, I missed the last in Picard. I didn't get any of the attempted humor. Yeah, I mean, it's something really hard to acknowledge or pay attention to because everything else going on is just very flat and not there and not very good. And when I'm watching something very critically, like I would with something like that, I pick up on those things and I make mental notes about them because I want to believe that even the worst things out there have a glimmer of some redeeming quality. Like, hey, the camera work was great in this awful, awful film, or this episode had really, really great music. Everything else about it was absolute filth, and I skip it every time, you know?
I put out a tweet yesterday, as a matter of fact, about this. I said, I must be weird because I like TOS and TNG. I didn't really like DS9. I liked Voyager and Enterprise. I loathe STD. Obviously, the initials really put a spin on that. And I liked Picard. I said, I think I'm like the only Star Trek fan who has that combination of likes and dislikes. I can't find anybody who likes and dislikes the same shows that I do. Everyone has a little different, you know, some people like DS9. Some people hate Picard. I'm like, wait a minute. That doesn't fit me at all. I can't find anybody who has the same combination as I do.
Yeah. See, like, I didn't hate Picard, but I definitely didn't love it. It was watchable. Do you know what I mean? Like, Star Trek Discovery is not watchable, right?
It was Star Trek Mass Effect.
Picard is at least watchable.
The point I don't want to get off the funny stuff. But the point I tried to make about Picard over and over again is you can't say, okay, this is going to be TNG 2.0. No, you have to, just because he was in TNG, and we all love TNG. I don't know anybody who hates that show. Everyone loves TNG. You can't assume that the next show that comes down the pike is just going to be the next version of TNG. Yeah. You have to step back and say, okay, this is an entirely different show. We're going to look at this on its own, just straight up by itself, and not compare it to, well, this is not Trek. Of course it's not Trek. It's not supposed to be Trek. It's supposed to be Picard. It's supposed to be different than that.
Yeah.
But a lot of people can't make that jump. Really, Discovery is more Trek than Picard is. Discovery is on ships in space. Yeah. It is the Federation. It's all very much like Trek. Yes, it's awful. Picard is not like Trek, but in its own space, awful. It's not that bad.
No.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see Riker and Troy and Seven of Nine, and we'll see Q again.
And those usually lead to really good comedic moments. You know, the reunion of Picard with old characters. Even some of the parts. What was it? The initial meeting where he sees Hugh.
Mm-hmm. And they,
it was kind of funny. Their little reaction.
Like, the Picard was actually glad to see Hugh, and Hugh was actually glad to see Picard. Well, because they left on good terms at the end of Descent.
Yeah.
So. But back to funny moments. There's a couple of moments. I know a lot of people don't really like Generations, but there are some funny moments in Generations. apart from that this is revolting scene, there's the I just love looking for life forms.
Life
forms. Bum, 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 bum. Life forms. Bum, bum, bum.
Precious little life forms.
Bum, 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 bum.
Where
are you?
And just the shot. What was it, Riker?
Yeah, I think so.
It was either Riker or Worf. Their face was just like, is he serious? Is the android losing it? Are we all gonna die?
Or when Riker has to land the Enterprise and it's gonna crash, and Data's like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, is that like the first curse word in Star Trek?
That is, yeah. Yep.
The motion pictures, they've got some really good ones. The one that really it cracks me up every time is in the first one, the Star Trek the Motion Picture.
Right.
When they're in the warp thing, and he's like, fire
that makes me laugh too.
Photon torpedoes
away.
It's so
or in the voyage home, there are so many double dumbass on you.
Yeah. When they first go on, they make the remarks about the Klingon ship. Scotty's face is just like, oh my god, I can't believe this place is gross.
Or they, when they're on the bus and the guy's blaring this, I think it's like the Sex Pistols or something in the boombox.
Yeah.
And Spock just calmly gets up and just... and everyone just starts clapping.
Yeah.
Or when they go in or when Spock's like swimming in the whale tank, and Kirk's like he had too much LDS when he was
LDS. You guys like Italian? No. Yes. No. Yes. You love Italian. It's his way.
Yes, I'm looking for the nuclear vessels down in Alameda. Nuclear vessels. Hello, computer.
Hello,
Scotty picks up the mouse. Computer. Hello, computer.
The keyboard. How quaint.
And it's like a Mac Classic 2.
Spock, do you have those computations? 1 damn minute, Admiral. Kirk actually stops walking and turns and looks at him.
Yeah.
What did you just say?
You're killing me, Smalls. I had forgotten how funny the voyage home was.
Oh god. Or the hospital. The whole hospital scene. It's just so goddamn funny. Like, because
you want an acute case? This woman has hyperpostprandial abdominal distension. What does she got? Cramps.
We're there in the prison camp in 5. And the big animal thing, he like kicks it in the shin and he goes down. Oh,
oh that's in 6.
Oh,
that's
6, sorry.
6, yeah. No,
oh, sorry.
The only funny thing about 5 is what does God need with a starship?
Yeah. No, 5, yeah.
5 was horrifyingly
It's erased from memory.
bad.
That's why I kind of shifted them over. 6, you're right. Not everybody has their genitals in the same place, Captain. And then again, Kirk's face is just like, oh, okay.
No, I loved the...
Anything you want to tell us?
Yeah.
That was the last part of that line.
I loved the battle between him and her when she just turns into Kirk. This is getting annoying.
She she played a good part in that movie.
Yeah, she did.
People don't give her good enough credit. She played
was
the
really
part
good.
well.
Yeah, she was, and there was so many like great actors in that movie. So many great actors.
What's her name again?
I can't remember.
It's Grace. Am I getting her confused with Iman? It's not the same person. Same accent, but it's a different person. Iman is Iman, right? That's her name? Iman?
I think so.
I get her confused with the chick from Bond and with the Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, Conan. Great.
Okay.
Oh, it is Iman, yeah.
Iman, yeah, but it was the other lady was something Grace.
I'm not sure.
I'll look
Grace
that up.
Jones?
Grace Jones, yeah. I get those two mixed up. They're both tall African American women who used to be very lean, who used to be
Grace Jones has a lot more muscle mass, and she was really great in Conan. I fucking love Grace Jones in Beverly Hills Cop 2. She was great.
There was not to get off the funny stuff, but there was a part in Conan where she did something that nobody expected, and she kind of like turns partially to the camera and just has this big smile on her face. Yeah. She kind of whips her head for a second, like, ha ha! I'll never forget that.
Even though First Contact is a very serious movie, there's a part where Data and Picard are going down to, I think, first confront the Queen. Mm-hmm. And Data is starting to describe his anxiety. Yeah. And Picard's like, Data, perhaps it would be best if you deactivate your emotion chip for now. Beep. It is done, sir. Data, there are times when I envy you. Or Worf, assimilate this. He just shoots down like.
It's funny how if that was on the Enterprise, it would have blown up the Enterprise. When they shoot at it at a distance, it doesn't look that. It's very pretty, but it doesn't look that destructive.
Right.
Like it would destroy an entire ship.
Yeah.
Maybe a feedback from the destruction would have done it, but it doesn't seem like that much of an explosion.
But Insurrection has some funny moments as well, because like when they're trying to get Data back.
I think when he's running around with just his head showing and the rest of his body is blank, and his head just bounces around all the time.
That's funny.
That's hilarious.
Or when Picard's like, Mr. Worf, do you know Gilbert and Sullivan? I haven't had time to get acquainted with the new crew yet, sir. Yeah. No, Mr. Worf.
It's okay, Worf.
So, he pulls up the words.
And he starts singing and he turns to Worf. And Worf shakes his head no. Nope, I'm not singing. I don't remember. How'd that go? Do you remember how that song went? It was something about being a sea captain or something like that.
Yeah.
Something about a knockdown blow. You should be ever ready for a knockdown blow. I don't remember the rest of the song though.
There's the part where Picard's like, Data, what do you remember? What's the last thing you remember? His head did. No, Data, before that. And then when they're on the planet and everyone is starting to grow younger.
He didn't say I remember singing in this.
He just starts singing.
He starts actually singing.
Yeah. Or when everyone is starting to like get younger again and
the boobs comment.
Data's like, and have you noticed how your boobs are starting to perk up?
From up, yeah. Not that we care about things like that.
Not that we care about things like that. And Riker's like, what the?
Yeah. That was the best part. Was Riker's reaction to it.
Oh my god! Oh, I forgot the part in First Contact where there's the Zephram Cochrane, where Deanna and Zephram Cochrane are sitting, and he's like blaring. I can't remember who he's blaring. Is it Stevie Ray Vaughan he's listening to?
I thought all the music for that was all written for the movie. I didn't know there was anything there that was commercial.
Oh, well, okay. Well, it sounded very similar to I think if it wasn't, it was supposed to sound very similar to like Stevie Ray Vaughan and stuff like that. And he's blaring it, and Riker walks in, turns it off, and like Deanna's just like shit-faced. Took 4 shots of something called tequila for him to even start talking to me. You're drunk. I am not. Or Barclay was just like, there's a, in our time, there's a huge statue of you right there. Sure, you had to tell him about the statue.
Leaks? I'm not detecting a leak. Don't you guys pee in the future? Oh, leak. I get it.
Or when they're literally in the ship, in like going up to warp speed, he's like, we have to abort, I forgot my tape. Oh wait, here it is. I forgot my music.
That was really appropriate too. They picked the perfect song for that part where they're going up its magic carpet ride. How could that be any more perfect?
Yep.
Could you turn that down a little bit? And he turned it off. I was enjoying that.
Yeah.
There's or in the episode someone to watch over me in Voyager. Although the ending is kind of sad because you feel bad for Doc. When the ambassador gets super drunk.
Oh yeah, Scott Thompson.
Yeah. And Neelix is panicking because the guy has like this horrible hangover.
Yeah. And then the other priest kind of, doesn't say anything but knows what's going on.
Yeah. Oh, we followed the schedule to the letter. Oh, well, that's a shame. I would have hoped you would have experienced some cultural things,
Yeah.
Or in the I can't remember if it's the timeless episode where they're celebrating the fact that the quantum slipstream is working, and they're gonna before the flight, and Seven is drinking synthahol and it fucks with her cortical implants.
She can't dismiss it like you can normal synthahol.
One. Yes, we are as one. Oh my god.
I think Worf, in that episode with the 3 ambassadors, I think Worf had a lot of funny lines that weren't just outright ha-ha funny, but when the ambassador makes him get him food, and he's at the line getting food, and he's grumbling to himself.
Or he's savagely carving up the meat for the ambassador. He's like preparing the ambassador's plate, and he's like savagely carving up everything.
And after he's done carving, he kind of looks at the knife longingly. Like,
yeah,
I could use this on him.
It could all be over in a moment.
Or when he's asking for a reassignment to Riker, and he finally loses. He's like, "These people are insane!
They are insane!"
He's so outraged.
Did we cover I'm Not a Married Man? Did we already cover that?
Yeah, we did that. But we didn't do when is it Geordi who's got the guitar?
The lute, yeah.
The lute.
And he just casually walks over, picks it up,
and then goes, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, obviously Geordi's been sitting there strumming that for a while. We only hear it for like 2 seconds, and I want to smash the damn thing.
Yep.
Bling, 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 bling.
I like Data's bald spot too.
I like when Troy is practicing and she shoots Data with the arrow, and he just pulls it out. It is all right.
Oh my god!
It is all right, counselor.
It impacted my third and Lacosta support. I will be fine. That's another thing about that is when Data is in first contact, when Data jumps down and she's shooting him with the bullets. Mm-hmm. It's not meant to be funny, but he just kind of, after she just unloads the entire weapon in him, he just looks at her like, okay,
yeah,
that's all right. You tried to kill me, but that's no big deal. How are you doing today? You know, it's just very much
greetings. There's a similar scene in Voyager in Future's End in the second part when B'Elanna and Chakotay are captured by the paranoid freedom fighter, like anti-government people.
Yeah.
And Doc and everybody comes to save them, and the guy, you know, he shoots Doc, and nothing happens, and he goes, "Lord have mercy," and the guy, "Divine intervention is unlikely," and then he just jogs down the stairs.
JP's got a good one from First Contact. Worf comes on board after they rescue his thing, and Defiance, salvageable, and
tough little ship.
Yeah, Riker, tough little ship. Little.
Yep. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Well, because Worf basically made
Still remember how to fire phasers, don't you?
Worf basically made the Defiant his home.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because he didn't want to live on the station.
Plus, it's got more firepower than the Enterprise.
Yeah. So he asked Sisko if he could live on the Defiant.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Defiant had more firepower?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Really? So it held more torpedoes?
Oh, yeah.
And stronger ones.
And it had quantum
Considering
torpedoes,
the size of the Defiant and the size of the Enterprise.
Well, the problem with the Defiant was it had it was so overpowered that it almost would shake itself.
That was talking about the engines, though.
Phasers,
but it extended to the weapons too.
Facing torpedo hardpoints, I believe. You fire 4 at once.
And it had the ability to fire quantum torpedoes as well, not just photons.
Yeah, which I'm sure, eventually you could retrofit the Enterprise to fire them and whatnot. Like, I mean, torpedo technology just evolves alongside the others. But yeah, I mean, like, pound for pound, it was a devastating ship. That's how it was able to, before they really got a handle on the Dominion, just wreck wholesale ass on the Jem'Hadar ships. Because they would just, like, their shields were really, really tough for their phasers and torpedoes to begin with, but they just sheer overpowered through force of energy.
Yeah. Yeah, JP said
Quantum
it was
D
the
torpedoes.
First,
there you go.
JP said it was the first actually designed warship. Yeah.
Yeah, they classify it technically as an escort vessel, but it is a true
warship.
Tried and true Federation.
It still doesn't make sense to me that something so small could help. I mean, more powerful torpedoes, I'll give you that. But something so small can have as many in its complement as the Enterprise. So
and the Enterprise complement, I don't know.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you got no firefight, who's going to have more weapons longer? At least as far as torpedoes are concerned. They may not be as powerful. So, I guess I'm really comparing it between... It's an unfair comparison because I'm comparing it to the Enterprise D as opposed to the Enterprise E.
Okay, the
Enterprise
Galaxy class has 2 torpedo launchers with a complement of 250 photon torpedoes.
250.
And
there's 6 on the Defiant, 4 forward and 2 aft. Defiant. But I don't know the complement was.
Yeah, it's not saying how many complement. I can imagine it doesn't have very many, or it takes time for them to.
I can't imagine 250 photon torpedoes fitting inside that ship.
No. You're right in that, like, as a prolonged use of the torpedoes, no. But you got to remember, it's got dual quad phaser cannons. These things are meant for just ripping apart shields and then finishing them off with a single torpedo.
I always wondered what the Federation had with collimated energy. It just seemed to me like disruptors and stuff like that, single shot weapons, would be more devastating. And it seemed like disruptors were a much more powerful weapon than phasers. Phasers had a lot of utility.
Yes, and if we go off canon, they also did quite a bit more damage to hull.
Yeah.
Disruptors did.
Mm-hmm.
Phasers were more like a finesse weapon, whereas disruptors were just pure raw destructive energy.
Yeah, there wasn't a stun setting for disruptors.
No. In fact, it was either a killing blow or a disintegration.
Yeah.
You had 2 power levels: death or evaporation, disintegration.
Which is also death. Death or death.
Death.
Yeah.
Death or a different kind of death.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've done. Oh, one more.
Kivas Fajo.
Ooh.
Is there something funny?
He was
Just the
weird.
character himself?
The funny moments in between the serious moments, like when he brings in his friend.
Oh, and Data's turned himself off.
And well, he's just completely still.
Yeah.
He's like, come on,
do something. I command you to do something.
And his friend's just like, okay, Kivas.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, and then it's juxtaposed right away almost by just a very serious, mean scene.
Yeah.
But then again, there's another comedic scene followed by a couple more tragics. But Kivas Fajo just popped into my mind. I'm like,
But so we've covered a lot of ground today, and it was a good stream. I think.
Wow, that was like 13 seconds in my memory.
Yeah, I know,
so
right?
quick.
It did. It was a great stream. I'm gonna DM everybody with some ideas because I don't have any right now. But
Okay.
my dinner is here, so.
All right, now
yes, I've got bread to bake.
But thank you everybody for watching, and of course thank you to Hammer and Functional for joining me. Please come back on Monday for the coffee stream, and it's going to be at 1:30 because I have my orientation and mobility lesson, and of course Monday night at 10:30 I'll be on Twitch as well. So thank you guys for watching, and have a great night. Bye guys.
Bye guys.
Mortal Kombat. Wait, wrong show. No, true. Kapla.